So, looking at the school rebuilding programme, in October 2024, the BBC reported that only 62 contracts had been awarded of 500 projects under the school rebuilding programme. And the ISBL has said that at current rates, it will take 400 years to rebuild all schools. So, could you explain what the reasons are for delays in awarding contracts, and how will the DfE mitigate this?
I'll let John come in a moment, but we have been really keen to ramp up the school rebuilding programme, both in terms of the overall number of schools, taking it from 500 to 750 over the course of the 10-year programme, so get those done and complete by 2034. The original plan from the previous government was to have 50 projects underway each year, there or thereabouts. I recognise the description that you've had there of delays in starting. We have this year had 100 start the programme, so we are ramping up and speeding up, pushing some schools through that process. These schools are also, and this is a wider point that is appropriate for me to make rather than probably John, there is a wider issue which is about our planning system in this country. I mean, I was at school again last week where they want to do the school rebuild, and without giving the house away on which school it was, there was a really odd, quirky situation that meant something got listed in the building that objectively many people might take different views on whether it should have been listed, that has added lots of delay and complexity into the process. So the government's wider approach to changing the planning system is exactly to be able to speed up these kind of projects. And I, even yesterday had members of Parliament come and speak to me about delays around statutory consultees responding to planning applications. All of the stuff that we know as members of Parliament is gumming up other parts of our planning system applies to these. This is hundreds and hundreds of schools that need to be rebuilt. So we're keen as a government to push through as much of that as possible. And specifically as a department, we're wanting to ramp up SRP delivery and prioritising those schools that most need it. Now, so the final thing to mention is that part of giving long-term confidence to schools is also giving them an indication that they'll join the SRP programme. That might mean there's a period of design and consultation before anything is built, because we want them to be in the programme, we want them to know what's coming. That will mean that some schools get the indication, get the nod that they'll be in the programme, but there won't be, diggers on site and bricks being laid for some years. And I think that's probably part of the trade-off in giving advanced notice, whilst also accepting that means for some schools that are not at the top of the list for being rebuilt, for example those with RAAC, that they have that vantage point, but have to wait some time.